Hello, everybody. This is the session on digital startups today. We will present you today a range of innovators active in food innovation. So this is an area where very much is taking place, and we will also have several other sessions today that will follow on that topic on alternative proteins, cultured meat, plant-based innovation. In this session, we particularly focus on startups, and I'm happy to present them to you today. But in the beginning, I want to say some words on your role, because every EFIB participant is able to vote for his, her favorite startup. So we will have a kind of voting system. So it's online accessible on the EFIB Startup Forum website, and the link will also be provided in the chat here right now. So you can then follow that link and vote for each company you want. So you don't have to vote for everyone, but you can provide points. 1, 2, or 3 points, and 3 points would be then the best one. So this is something you can do. So would be great if you could just vote for it at the end of the conference. So as we have several startup pitches throughout the program of the whole week, you don't have to choose your favorite today, but during the course of the days would be great until Friday 10 or maybe 11 o'clock after the last textile session. Then you can vote, and then the winner will be presented on Friday on our last session. And the prize for this startup will then be in 1 hour coaching of chemical company and food company DSM. They will provide an expert who is then coaching this selected startup for 1 hour in a virtual meeting. Yeah, so right now I would like to introduce our jury members, our today's jury members. We will have 3 of them. So there is Agnes Hoffmann from the EIT Foods Accelerator, which is a European consortium. So and then we have Arthy, as he's a growth investor of Planet First Partners. And we will have Brix Tillegreen from the BioInnovation Institute. So my colleague will bring all those jury members right now here in so that they will be visible. We will wait a minute, and then I will ask all jury members to shortly present themselves. So maybe we are starting with Agnes. So Agnes, could you tell us just shortly or briefly what EIT Foods is, and how you support startups, and how other startups could benefit from your network?
Yes, thank you, Sandra, for the warm welcome. Thanks for having me. EIT Food is a EU-funded knowledge and innovation center. It's a EU-wide network of leading corporates and institutions along the whole food value chain. And we support innovative, disruptive agtech and food tech startups and entrepreneurs by connecting them with our network partners, supporting them in our programs, such as, for example, the Seedbed Incubator or the Fan Accelerator Hub here in the lovely city of Munich. Mm-hmm. And if you want to know more about it, then I think we'll have a little chat room also after the pitches. And for now, I'm really excited to see what's happening here.
Okay, yeah, so great. Thanks very much, Agnes. Then I would like to ask Kirstin to tell us a bit more about the BioInnovation Institute and how you are supporting startups in the field.
Yes, absolutely. So nice to be here, first of all. I hope you can hear me all right.
Yeah.
So I am from the BioInnovation Institute, which is an incubator in Copenhagen. We are part of the Novo Nordisk Foundation, which is the foundation that governs Novo Nordisk and Novozymes as well. Our purpose and goal is to basically bridge the gap between the academia and creating a company. So what we are looking for is to use our research networks, our corporate partners, and the venture capital community to basically de-risk early stage companies. And our goal is, maybe to the next slide, our goal is to use these different types of programs. So we have everything from early stage company creation from our faculty program, which is a grant towards 2.5 million euros. We have Venture Lab, which is sort of an accelerator program for 500,000 euros. And then we have Creation House, which is sort of the last program to help companies go towards a Series A financing. We are projecting to basically invest around 30 million euros per year. So in 2030, we'll basically have incubated around almost 400 companies. So we're looking everywhere we can, and that's why I'm also here, to find innovative companies and innovative projects that we can fund. Just a quick overview. So I'm responsible for our bioindustrials, which is we also take in therapeutics companies and digital health companies, but where we really would like to invest is within the agriculture, health, water, food, and also in synthetic biology platforms. And of course, we always have the luxury of having the white space projects, which could be, you know, anything exciting as long as it has a biology as a background. Just towards what our portfolio here, you will see Chromologics is actually one of the companies we have has been through our accelerator. I think they're going to present later today. But these are the current companies that we are working with and have been through some of our programs. Just to give a taste of where we are, and just ending off saying we are a pretty large business development team that will help companies when they get in. So we also have infrastructure here, so we have labs and co-working spaces and so forth in central of Copenhagen.
Okay.
But looking forward to be here. Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Sounds very exciting. So always good to know that there are investors in the space that put money into startups so that they can grow. And now I would like to invite Ed to share some insights on your strategy with Planet First Partners, and yeah, it's your stage.
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Ed. I'm an investor with Planet First Partners. We're a new European growth equity investor operating at the intersection of consumer, technology, and sustainability. Something I believe that each of these talented teams is trying to hit on this morning. So looking forward to hearing more there. You know, a little on Planet First Partners. We have a track record of scaling kind of regional disruptors, especially in the consumer space, into global leaders through previous investments from our partners in companies like Oatly. And we are usually operating at the sort of post-VC stage. So the companies we typically look to back have demonstrated positive unit economics, attractive ones at that, clear path to profitability, and some real sort of IP or sustainable competitive advantage that will help us have confidence that we're going to be able to build this into a category leader. However, we in spaces that are quite capital intensive, cultured meats, fermented, etc. We are also increasingly, just because it is such a hot space, looking at some things in the Series A selectively, but typically we're sort of Series B, C investors. But as I said, yeah, excited to hear more this morning from our companies.
Okay, yeah, so thank you very much. So we will just then start with our agenda of today. So we will have 4 startups, and I will now invite Cornelia Habacher from Rebel Meat to have her first presentation. So this is a young startup from Austria. Hello, Cornelia.
Hello.
Yeah, so happy to have you. And it was already exciting to see you on last year's EFIB in the Startup Village, and we had a fantastic tasting of your first hybrid burgers. And yeah, we are quite curious to know where you stand now and how the past months went for you. And yeah, so it's your stage.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Yeah, it was really exciting last year to have our burgers there and get some feedback. Unfortunately, it's not possible this year, but I have a lot of exciting news. We got new products, but yeah, for everyone who doesn't know Rebel Meat, we are developing and marketing hybrid meat products. My name is Cornelia Habacher, and I'm one of the co-founders of Rebel Meat. The vision, the goal of our company is basically to create a world where eating meat is aligned with the interests of nature, people, and animals. And I'm really happy to be able to show you today what we think, how we can get there, and what it means for us. So I think everyone, especially in this space, knows that our love for meat has dire consequences. So on one hand, of course, it leads to a lot of animal exploitation, deforestation, water overuse. It causes a lot of greenhouse gas emissions and also health problems, which also have serious economical consequences. And we see that all over the world, people basically are getting aware of these problems. The awareness is rising, and we see that more and more people are either trying out the vegetarian diet or becoming so-called flexitarians, which are basically very conscious eaters that want to integrate more plant-based diets, more plant-based food in their diets. But we can also see, if we look at the hard facts, that the per capita consumption, for example, here in Austria, on the right side, is pretty stable. So it's always fluctuating around 95 and 100 kilo per capita per year, which is, of course, way too much. So we basically, on one hand, have this desire to eat less meat, but we also see that it's really hard for people to adhere to a vegetarian diet. So we tried to find a bridge between these two concepts, and that's why we created our very first product, which is the Rebel Meat Burger. It consists of 50% organic meat and 50% plant-based ingredients, which in the case of the burger are mushrooms, millet, and spices. It's all regionally sourced and produced in Austria. It's very important for us to always use organic ingredients, so we do not only reduce meat consumption, but we also try to use the very best meat that we can, and work with meat production facilities that are really keen on looking at the animals and also supporting the local organic agriculture. One of the questions we always get is, so how does the burgers compare to a normal burger? And we can see in this short comparison of nutrients that on the left side is basically the 100% meat patty on average, and on the right side, a Rebel Meat Burger. We can see it has less calories and less fat. We have more carbohydrates, but these carbohydrates are mainly plant-based fibers, so healthy carbohydrates, and less sugar than a normal meat patty. We also have a little bit of less protein, and we know for consumers it's very important to get a lot of protein, although we also know that we in general eat too much protein nowadays, but we also in our 2.0 version will try to integrate more plant-based protein into the burger. So as I said in the beginning, we were quite busy last year. We developed a lot of new products. And this is just a short overview of our product pipeline and where the different products are standing right now. So the beef burger is basically available readily in Austria. We're in over 350 retail stores in Austria. We're at selected restaurants and also in wholesale stores all over Austria. We also developed beef cevapcici, which is basically just a small adaptation in the spices compared to the burger, and already had orders for this. Our newest product, the pork sausage, we developed by using basically packers from a crowdfunding campaign. And these sausages are also developed and will go out to the crowd this month. So we're really excited about this product, because in a taste test, we also showed that it's actually the preferred option compared to 100% meat option, and also compared to a vegetarian sausage. We also developed beef tartare, which is a very great recipe. Unfortunately, it's a very niche product, so we're still looking for some partners on getting the beef tartare really in the market. And our latest innovation is the minced meat, which was again a different challenge. So for every product, we basically have to find new plant-based products that blend seamlessly together with the meat. And for the minced meat, of course, the biggest challenge is to have a really nice reddish looking color, and that turns then brown and has the normal capacities of minced meat. So you can make minced meat, basically you can make burgers and meatballs and everything that you normally make from minced meat. So the first recipe we created already, and we're now looking into the sustainable sourcing of the different ingredients. So why are we doing all of this? It's basically not just to make hybrid meat, because I said in the beginning, we are working on a world where basically enjoying meat is in line with the animals, the planet, and the humans. And for the humans, on one side, of course, they want great taste and texture in their products, but they also, when they work as a worker in the meat factory, they want to be treated right. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is the animal aspect, where we first want to reduce meat consumption, but in the long run, we want to actually integrate cultured meat products or cultured meat as an ingredient in our products. And the way we want to go there is by first, just looking from left to right, create these, as we call them, simple meat products that are basically just burgers, sausages, and everything that you can blend that is not structured, but it's there as a tool, basically as a vessel to explain people hybrid meat and make them really crave the products and build the market. So get listing in retail stores and in restaurants. We can make a very naturally sourced product, so it has little to no alterations in the base ingredients. This, on one hand, is it's giving us the opportunity to offer a very natural product, so we only have 4 base ingredients, and all the nutritional value, as limited as it is, it will basically stay with us. So because we don't process the plant-based ingredients like mushrooms, all the vitamins stay active in the end product. Our next step is to make more complex products, which have only 25% meat. There we will also integrate structured proteins, and we recently got a grant for this product development from Austria. It will have an even greater environmental impact because we have less meat in there. And in the end, it will be the base formulation for our end goal, which is to create a product with clean meat. And for the clean meat, we don't want to produce our own clean meat, but as I said, just use it as an ingredient. We're in contact with clean meat startups that will offer us small portions of clean meat, so we can start working with the product and also basically copy the clean meat with natural animal products that we have right now. So we can do the product development with normal animal ingredients and then basically seamlessly switch to the clean meat as soon as it's readily available, and of course as soon as it's as we are able to offer it in the European market, because there's a lot of regulation also behind it. And because hybrids will offer this structure that the clean meat basically needs, and it will also be cost efficient with our recipe. So this is basically our long-term goal, is to enable the market entry of clean meat. For this, we have to build 3 different things, which is, first of all, as I mentioned, the 25% meat product, where the meat doesn't really have to be meat itself, but it can also be fat, so basically animal-based ingredients. We'll build the know-how of which plants really go well with which fats and which animal ingredients. And then, of course, we also will build a trusted brand with the consumers. This is our team. So I am one of the co-founders. Philipp Stangl is the second one. He's a very experienced founder. He founded already another food startup and then worked as an investor with Speed Invest for 5 years, investing in digital startups. And we have experts in marketing, operations, sales, and product. And in addition, we also have very experienced scientific and business advisors on our side. So Dr. Alexander Stephan, for example, is working in this space since 15 years, working on ingredient side and also meat replacements. And Tom Miskits, you might know him, is one of the founders of All I Need, which is iced tea coming from Austria. So yeah, I'm here today to also looking for partners on the investor side, of course, but also on the product side. So if you know any more clean meat companies that would be willing or are looking for partners to create hybrid meat products, please connect me, or if you're the person yourself, just write me or give me a call. We're also always looking for novel plant proteins that are maybe a little bit outside the space of just extracted soy or pea protein as we know it. We're also looking for aroma experts and people who are really invested in extending the shelf life of products, because hybrid meat products are very different from normal meat products, and they're also different again from 100% plant-based products. And of course, we're also always happy to get consumer insights, either from a university, but also from every consumer. I mean, you're all consumers as you're listening to me. So if you have any wishes or insights, please do share them with me. And I hope we can together create a world where meat is sustainable, safe, and delicious. And please, I'm looking forward to questions, and please connect with me if you want to partner up with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cornelia. Yeah, that was a big ride through your technology and your history, and yeah, great to see that you ramped up your product into market. So that's really nice to see. So maybe from our jury member side, most probably you have questions. Maybe Kirstin first.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for the presentation, Cornelia. Could you elaborate a little bit? What's the next step here? What in terms of both your funding requirements, but also is it your process you need to scale? Is there some technology development that you need to focus on? And maybe a follow-up question to that would be: do you have any proprietary technology you can protect yourself in?
Yes, so our first product, basically this rebel meat burger, consists of meat and mushrooms, and it's very specific to Austria. So our next step is really, as you said, to create a scalable product that we can make throughout Europe. And the way we want to do this is basically not just produce it in Austria and then ship it everywhere, but we want to create a network of production sites, because it's really important for us to source the ingredients locally and to be able to trust especially the meat producers and people who provide the meat for our product. So we want to create a network of producers in Europe, and for this we still have to modify the recipe in a way that it's really scalable. So this means in the next step probably to take out the mushrooms and use different plant-based ingredients. And our ideal scenario for this is to basically separate the production sites. So have one production site that mixes, if you will, the plant-based size, and then make it into a product into the other side, to also protect the IP of how we process our plants against the meat production side, basically. So it's not so easily copied. What was the second question? Sorry.
No, that would be, I think you answered
Okay.
it. Do you have anything to protect yourself? So is there any proprietary? You didn't mention so much about
exactly.
your IP situation.
Yeah, right now, as a lot of food startups have, I think, similar problems, it is able, you would be able to copy it if you go back to the kitchen and work on it for a few months, I guess. But it took us about 9 months to go to the recipe that we have right now, because also the mushrooms have to be processed in a certain way. So right now it's protected by secrecy, and we have our exclusive contracts with our producer. Yeah. But we do see that this can be one of the problems that we have in the future, and of course we'll try to work on a recipe that is more easily protectable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so are there any further questions from the other jury members? Okay. Oh yeah, Ed.
Agnes, you go first.
So maybe Agnes first and then Ed.
I don't know about time, so.
Yeah, so we have still some minutes, but then we have to go ahead.
So thanks, Cornelia. I did try the burger already, and I really like it. And my question is, since it's a consumer product, and I would be really interested in how the COVID-19 crisis affected your startup, and how you found ways maybe to pivot, or so what were your experiences in the last months concerning that?
Yeah. So it affected us a lot because in the beginning we sold our patty to gastronomers, and they were closed for I think 2 months almost in Austria. Of course, so there was a lot of well, it affected us a lot. So the way we went through it is to basically go into the retail market quite fast, faster than we planned to do. And we also are working on a new product that is basically, so right now it's a frozen product, our patty, and it's quite hard to just ship it directly to consumers because of logistical reasons. And what we're working on right now is a freeze-thaw product that will not lose quality, so we can put it in, there's these boxes of food boxes just that get shipped to the door, but they're only cooled. So we work on this product to be able to ship it directly to customers. And we will also be listed in an online store. It's basically just a food online store from December on. So we basically shifted our focus from gastronomers a little bit to the direct consumer market. But we also try, on the other hand, to really help our gastronomers. So we made a special product for them, a special support, like marketing support for them, to help them and engage new customers. But we see it's getting less and less in Austria again, because people are, as the numbers go up, people tend to avoid restaurants.
Okay.
So that has,
Okay, so thanks a lot. And maybe a last short question from Ed, and then we have to go to the next startup.
Yeah, Cornelia, thanks for the presentation and love the mission that you're on. My question is around your product vision. It looks like the end state product is one that contains 25% clean meat. And your current products today are kind of targeted at flexitarians. Rather, you couldn't really be a vegetarian. So it's people who are on the journey towards vegetarianism. And yet the end state product is using an outsourced partner for a meat product that isn't yet commercialized. Is there also the potential to keep all of these flexitarian customers and kind of have a 100% vegetarian product that you control and create in-house yourselves? I just am very conscious of your customers appearing to be on a journey towards cleaner eating, and that there is an end state there that at least today that you're not able to service.
So yeah, I mean the name flexitarians is sometimes a little bit differently used everywhere. So maybe our target customer is not directly flexitarians also, but mainly meat eaters that want to eat more consciously. And I think we will not want to have a 100% plant-based product, because that's not how we see the market. So I would be happy if plant-based wins over everything, and then everybody will be happy with the plant-based product. But unfortunately, it's not like this. So people sometimes just have on their inside, whatever makes them eat meat does not want to make them eat vegetarian options. And 90% of consumers are still meat eaters. So we do not think that the end product of having a vegetarian patty, because there are so many readily out there already, it will not make sense for us to compete with those, but rather target the big market, this 90% of meat eaters, and that they don't have to always think about what meat, how do they eat it, whatever, but they can trust in our brand that the best meat will be in there, paired with the best plant-based product that will then have them 100% meat experience. And that's why we're also very happy about the tastings we had with the sausage, where we outcompete the 100% meat product. And then in the end, for the consumer, it's not a choice anymore. They don't have to make the choice between, do I want something tasty or something sustainable? But with our product, they just have both. They have something that is tastier and more sustainable than the normal meat product. So I think it's not crazy to think that most of the meat eaters will be our target market.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Cornelia, for your presentation. So we will then go ahead to next company, Arbiom, which is presented by Laura Vasselin. It's a French company which is focusing on wood technology. And yeah, happy to hear more on your approach from wood to food. So go ahead, it's your stage.
So hello everyone. So I'm Laura Vasselin from Arbiom. We are actually a US French company, a startup. So I will start. So we face a challenge as we currently have limited resources compared to the growing demand in proteins for human and food and animal feed. So we face a protein gap as we actually import 70% of proteins in Europe, and most of it being soy. This issue will get bigger as we expect the global population to grow by a third by 2050, leading to the growth of middle class and rising incomes. Also, we are in a world where customers are looking for more sustainable and traceable products. So in order to answer this challenge, Arbiom offers a wood-to-food protein technology. Why food? Why wood? It's a sustainable solution and it's complementary to other plant-based and alternative protein resources. Wood is abundant and renewable. It doesn't compete with eatable resources. Also, the wood supply is increasing worldwide, and also the wood industries has mature supply chains, which lead to good traceability. So Arbiom's technology integrates biomass expertise and enzyme technology. So we convert wood residues, or actually any cellulosic rich material, into a single-cell protein we call CellPro for uses in human and animal nutrition. CellPro offers 4 main benefits. The first one is being a nutritional ingredient. It has a high protein content of 60% and high digestibility with an average of 92% over the different tests we have done. CellPro also has an enhanced amino acid profile. Secondly, CellPro is economical. It's a premium product at a competitive price, thanks to wood being available all year round. Thirdly, CellPro is a product that is traceable, thanks to the wood industry's mature supply chains. I also want to note that CellPro is 100% non-GMO ingredient. And finally, CellPro is sustainable. sustainable, as former studies show that CellPro consumes 70% less water than other conventional plant and animal protein sources. We are actually performing an LCA as part of our European demonstration program with data to be added and validated by the end of the program next year. So Arbiom targets 4 main markets with a focus over the past 2 years on the aquaculture markets. But we are also targeting these 3 other markets, especially the weaning pig markets, the pet food market with trials we are doing on cats and dogs. And we are also targeting the food and beverage markets with recent tests on alternative meat applications. So in this slide, we can see some of the experts we have been working on with the different trials. So those are people renowned in their own field. For instance, we have Jon Andersen from Athys. So we are working together as part of our European project Silfeed with trials on tilapia and salmon. And we can also see Sandrich Skiba from INRAE. So we are working together on tests on trouts. So here we can see some more details about the past and upcoming trials we have done on different species. So they are all validating CellPro's performance in terms of digestibility and gut health. So we have we have different trials on different fish species as well as on weaning pigs and dogs and cats. So Arbiom's lead the project Silfeed. It's a 4-year European funded program. The goal of this project is to demonstrate Arbiom's technology at large scale and prepares for Arbiom's industrial scale-up. So we have 10 partners all along the value chain, from the biomass sourcing up to the trials in fish feed. So this European project is focused on aquaculture. And we have Oswald who is working on the LCA part. So this program will end next year in August. So following Silfeed, the scale-up of our technology is to end so at the end of the program in August next year. Our goal is to have our first commercial unit fully operational at the end of 2023. At Arbiom's, we want to be part of answering the global challenge of feeding the world. Thank you. So any questions?
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation. Very exciting to hear that also you are working in the, not only in the, or because many companies food area are looking for packaging or materials, but you are here also for the food space, so that's quite interesting to see. And yes, so I will ask our jury members if there are questions, and maybe Kirstin, you start again.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much for the presentation. Super exciting approach you have here. Could you elaborate a little bit on where Arbiom is unique? So I guess the holy grail is always to degrade lignin, and many has been chasing that around. So is your proprietary focus that you have developed some enzymatic approaches to these things, as well as how do you handle the dewatering of the biomass as well, or where is Arbiom in the process? I guess the value chain of your conversion and fractions.
So thank you for the question about the dewatering question. I'm sorry, I cannot answer you right away as I will need to ask our technical team about that. As for the lignin, that's one of the fraction we get out of the process. Lignin is not our main focus, but we are as part of the sulfate project and even for Arbiom's own activities, we are looking at other applications. We have actually work going on use of lignin in feed applications and we are actually looking at antioxidant properties of lignin in feed applications. We are also looking at lignin application in energy, in fuel applications. So they are actually all ongoing works to be completed by the end of the project. But we at Arbiom, we also think that there is a big potential to lignin, and more work need to be done on that product.
Okay, so maybe in view of the time, I would say that we are going to the next startup. So Laura, thank you very much. And
okay.
For everyone who is more interested to ask further questions, then Arbiom will be, or Laura will be available in her digital meeting room after this session. And the team of Arbiom is also taking part in the partnering. So this is also an option to raise further questions. So thank you very much. Our next speaker is coming from Germany, so it's Kirstin Knufmann. She's the CEO of Knufmann GmbH and works on PureRaw. And this is all around algae that I can already say, but please go ahead with your presentation and tell our audience on which products you are working, and yeah, happy to have you here.
Great. And since 10 years now. So what's good to know about my company is that I grow it as a one-woman show. So now I have like 10 employees here in a very small town in Germany. And what's important for me is that I have ethical products that are sustainable, high quality, that there are short ways to the producers, and that we have innovative products. So that is the experience I have done for the last 10 years. And what I see that people are more and more interested in getting products that are sourced with plant-based, sugar-reduced, or completely without sugar, like lactose-free and gluten-free products. And that is what I offer in an innovative way. So that's a fact about me, what I've done in my past, because I've not always been in the food business, but what I can say is that I've told stories as a photographer in New York and in Los Angeles. And a good way of eating was always part of my life. And so everybody was interested in what I do. And so PureRaw became more and more part of my life. And so I've changed my passion in the food business now. Oops, there we go too fast. So what I offer now is it's nutritional supplements, but also regular food. Innovative products like algae, which makes a lot of my daily business, because algae are a very innovative product. They grow 10 to 30 times faster than regular plants, and they grow on production ways regular agri plants don't grow. So it's very interesting. So since 2010, I've got up to 18 employees. So now it's 10 here in Plätze. And we work national, like in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland mainly, but also in international market. What's very important and what was very surprising for me is that not just a very small group of people is interested in this kind of food. So it's a very big deal, actually. So we got some awards of the culture and creative pilots in Germany. This is an award that is given to 32 innovative and creative companies in Germany. And we got the Hugo Junkers Prize for one product, which I will present today. Also, we are represented in Saxony-Anhalt for some very nice activities that Saxony-Anhalt is doing in Germany, but also in Brussels. So in the European Commission, I've presented algae as well as one of the future food. And also like a growing factor, it's presented here in Saxony-Anhalt in Berlin, which was for the 30 years is to communicate with people about what's your goal and what you want to do. So that's what I do also in my book. It's called Raw. This was my first book. And it's just plant-based raw food without any additives. So everybody was looking for, what can I do with your products? And here I show some examples that look good and taste good and are very good also for the person itself, but also for a sustainable way of living and so on. So then the second book was focused on algae, which is a very actual theme. And it got awarded with the gold medal of the Gastronomic Academy in Germany. So it's not just with recipes, it's also like the know-how. So to tell people why algae are good, what potential it has, why it's in a historical way very important, and why it will be more important in the future as well. And to make it easier to use it every day, I got some recipes with very nice and delicious foods there. So these are our brands I offer with now like 200 products I have from very different parts. Like algae is a big part with Unicorn Magic or Magic Blue. It's a blue spirulina. Bob I will come to. And it always has nutrition and focus, but with taste and joy. So that is very important. Not that you don't have to eat healthy, but you can eat healthy, and it's also fun. So that's just a very short overview about a range of products we offer, like regular carob or dulce, like a red algae. baobab or chlorella, which grows here in Germany. We have a very good partner we work together with. And yeah, what is very important for me is not to just produce food, but also to work together with research and development. Because what I think is that there are a lot of great projects the universities do, but then it won't get into a product. So there is a lot of potential we can do and work together, and that is one of our goals we want to do, to introduce more of these great visions the universities do, and to make products that have or find solutions with products to get it to the end customer, but also to gastronomic needs, to make it easier for them. And this is an overview about what we did into the press and what magazines we have been to promote a healthy lifestyle as well. But also what's important to support a children's aid project in Colombia, which fights against malnutrition in children with spirulina algae. And so it's a very nice project where are already about 2,500 people in, and which is also in the awareness of the government in Colombia. So it's a very nice project we support there. And yeah, also have some sugar alternatives and algae as healthy food in the daily kitchen. So what was press very interested in was a spirulina blue, which was one of the main news the last years, to have not the synthetic blue, but to find a way to integrate a natural blue color without any health issues, negative health issues, but just like a natural product with natural colors, which is very nice into bowls or like fancy stuff like Instagram, Facebook. So we invented a product which is called Unicorn Magic, which has a spirulina blue in there, calcium algae, which provides you with calcium, iodine, and magnesium a little bit, and soluble fiber, which is very good for your gut health as well. But it also looks pretty nice, so that children likes to eat and to drink it in any kind of way they like. So we present also in fairs with a government, and we got awarded for the Bob Eye, which comes later again. So that it's fun to use the product, but research and development is also a big theme. So I've invented the algae food. This is an innovation forum from the federal government. And it goes through potential and limits of algae as food, because some of the declarations really doesn't fit for algae now, like organic or how to declare algae and what to know about it. So I think it's very nice to see what need everybody has in the algae food sector to make a good product. So we have a lot of solutions in current food trends, like vegan, reduced calorie foods, reduced salts in foods, iodine, and vitamin B12. And all press publications the past years says it's a really big theme to work on. And that's what we do. For example, for low calorie and vegan, we have published, or we have brought out a product which is called Bob Eye. It's for baking without butter and egg. It's a golden or fermented chlorella product flour, which substitutes butter, milk, and egg. So it's very nice to use, and it's very good in taste. It tastes a little bit like cookie dough without sweetness. So it's very nice to see it as well, that the end customer likes to get it into the hand and say, hey, what's that? So that's what I want to do. And for example, you can make a bun cake out of it, and you can replace 3 eggs and 200 gram butter to 80 gram of the algae flour and get a very nice texture, a very nice color as well. And when you compare it with regular brioche, for example, which is a French baking, then you can replace 25% of butter and egg, with is in a regular recipe, with 5.4% of chlorella flour. And you got a product that has 25% less calories and 70% less fat, but also it tastes fresher and softer. And what is very good to the critical points when you use regular food, you have no allergens inside, and you avoid animal products as well. So this is very easy to handle, and you don't have a cooling cat or anything like that. So also it's one of the main issues when we look into the future. There you have insects, cultured meat, and algae. These are the 3 big parts of our future thinking what might be. So Nestlé made this in a study and published it already. So what can we offer, and what do we want to offer? So our goals is to bring more of these research and development and good products, to bring it into the market, to make it possible to use it for a lot of people out there, like mainstream products, and to have to find solutions for real problems, because the growing we
have to look a bit at the time. I think we got your message right now,
okay.
And maybe we only have one short question. Maybe Ed, you're just unmute.
Sure.
So maybe
Kirstin, congratulations on being a sole entrepreneur and building this business up. It's fantastic to see. I know how hard it is. My question is, it seems like you've got some great brands and products. It looks like you've got sort of your own e-commerce portal. Where are you selling these? What is the sort of long-term vision? In 30 seconds or less, I know not easy. You've got the spirulina blue and some great algae products. Could you sell those in retail, to other big CPG companies, etc.?
So we sell it to end customers, to resellers, a little bit to wholesalers as well, and to gastronomic needs, but very less in the gastronomic part, actually. Yep. And the goal is to make it a little bit bigger, not to bring or to marketing these products, but to make the whole to bring the whole thing together, to make an algae innovation center, maybe to have like producer and brands and product and development and research development, to bring it all together, to make it very huge, very big, and to have all sorts together to make good products in final, to bring it to the end customer as well.
Okay, so
thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kirstin. So we will now switch over to our next presenter, which is Christopher, representing Better Nature. So we are happy to have you here as our last speaker. You don't have to present in 5 minutes. We can go a bit longer. That's fine. Happy to hear what's going on in your company. So you already had presented in one of our pre-conference webinars, but I think we here have a kind of new audience. So let's go ahead, and it's your stage.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Hi, guys. It's great to meet you. I'm Chris. I'm the co-founder and head of business development of Better Nature. And at Better Nature, we make protein without compromise. So Next slide. So what do we mean by making protein without compromise? We mean making protein that's delicious and nutritious, right? First and foremost, that's absolutely key. Ethical and sustainable, natural and plant-based, and versatile and easy to prepare. So as we all know, last year was really the year that plant-based foods burst into the mainstream. It is no surprise that this trend is no longer, it's not just a one-year thing, it's something that's here to stay. But while you have all these plant-based food brands that were creating all these super delicious products, we felt that they weren't focusing on what customers were really looking for when adopting a plant-based diet, which is cost and health concerns. In a study published by the Johns Hopkins University, it was found that consumers were most interested in the impact that adopting a plant-based diet had on their wallets and their health, as opposed to what it had on the environment and welfare. Yet, so though taste is still absolutely key, consumers are looking, and there's a growing body of consumers are looking for plant-based foods that were completely free from artificial ingredients, plant-based foods that were actually better for them. However, I guess your most popular meat analogs or meat alternatives these days, these so-called second generation of meat alternatives, though they are great, they're high in protein, versatile, and taste great, they contain a huge laundry list of all these artificial and ultra-processed ingredients, and they're not necessarily, on price parity with their animal-based, counterparts. Yet, if you look at the other side of the spectrum, sorry, just waiting for the slides change. If you look at the other side of the spectrum with your first generation meat alternatives like tofu and seitan, sure, they're high in protein, sure, they're all natural, but they just don't quite meet the modern day's consumer. So the modern day's consumers' demands for the sensory performance of the product. So at Bed Nature, in order to really create meat alternatives that do not compromise on the taste as well as on the all natural aspects of our food products, we leverage an ingredient called tempeh. Tempeh is this fermented food product made using tempeh fermentation, which and originated in Indonesia 300 years ago. Tempeh fermentation is this biotransformative process that can be applied to any bean, nut, legume, grain, or seed, and massively improves its protein content, massively reduces its fat content, and actually creates an end product that's a complete amino acid profile with a carbon footprint that is a fraction of that of beef. So I'm just waiting for the slide change. And is it delicious? Yes, of course. Is it versatile? Yes, it is. It can be used in all sorts of different recipes, and these are just some of my favorite ones. At Bed Nature, what really differentiates us is that we are the world's first food tech company focused on this tempeh fermentation process. So to date, we have been able to reduce the fermentation time, and we just recently massively reduced the fermentation time from what typically takes 30 to 48 hours down to about 18 hours. We also just recently patented a proprietary starter culture, which allows us to make our tempeh the world's richest source of vitamin B12. How we innovate upon the process of tempeh fermentation is that we look at it two-pronged. We look at it by a process, right? So that's the actual fermentation process itself. And we focus on the key ingredient of that fermentation, which is the starter culture, by co-inoculating different species of fungi and bacteria and yeast together. We believe, and we are creating tempeh that is nutritionally superior and from a sensory aspect as well, superior than that of other tempeh products. And we believe by applying this to not just soybeans that tempeh is traditionally made out of, but really by a complex mix of all natural plant-based grains, nuts, and legumes, we can create all natural meat alternatives that look, cook, and taste just like meat. So next slide. This is our current range of products. They're 100% plant-based, obviously incredibly high in protein and fiber. It's organic for the time being, but this is what we're launching at the beginning of next year. We realized that consumers are definitely resonating with our message, and we decided to produce a new range of products that really meet the consumer where they're at and are able to replace popular meat-based dishes such as ribs or roast or kebabs with an all-natural meat alternative that is, of course, high in protein. And I think the core USP and the reason why we're truly unique on the market is that our products are completely a fermentation process as opposed to using high moisture extruders and methyl cellulose and all that other stuff. We launched in the UK in January, just the beginning of this year. And to date, right now, we're in about 200 retail locations. We're also listed with the UK's largest food service distributor, Bidfood. We're one of the best-selling vegetarian protein brands on Amazon UK. We're now in a whole host of UK wholesalers, and we've raised some investment to truly take tempeh into the mainstream. And we want to be the UK's leading tempeh brand for now, but of course, Europe and the rest of the world is definitely within, something is part of the ambitions of the business. And yeah, sales have been doing really well. And I think, especially during lockdown, especially during this pandemic, consumers are more mindful about their health. And I think this trend is here to stay. Even after the pandemic, people are just more cognizant of the impact that their foods have on their diet. And this was something that was already happening before. So we've seen tremendous growth during lockdown as the message of this better for you, clean label ingredient, clean label food product has really resonated with the end customer. So next slide. This so our route to market is by starting in your independent health food stores, your more luxury type stores, but we're now currently in discussions with some of the UK's largest retailers to take our products into the mainstream and to price them at a price point that's accessible as well to the vast majority of customers. And why is the UK such an exciting market? For those that don't know, it's one of the biggest vegan markets in Europe. I think last year sales topped about $1 billion. About a third of the UK's population apparently is looking to reduce their meat consumption in some sort of way. And last year, almost a quarter of all evening meals consumed were plant-based. So it's either vegan or vegetarian. And we believe that we're really the team to make this a reality. So I myself graduated from the University of Oxford with a master's in biochemistry. Prior to graduating, I worked at McKinsey, and immediately after graduating, before starting Better Nature, I worked at Founders Factory, which is the UK's leading incubator and accelerator. My co-founder, one of my co-founders, Amadeus, he just recently graduated with a PhD on tempeh fermentation, making him part of a very exclusive group of people with a PhD in this technology from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, which has the best PhD program in the US for food science. Another one of my co-founders, Ellen, graduated from the University of Oxford. She did psychology there and then spent 2 years working in marketing, PR, and advertising agencies. Fabio, another co-founder as well, graduated top of his class. He graduated summa cum laude from the University of Perugia with a dual master's in food science and human nutrition. So yeah, all in all, we know our stuff. We've been very fortunate to be on the receiving end of quite a few awards. We were rated the best high protein food and beverage startup at the 11th Protein Summit. Excitingly, about this time last year, we were invited out Good Food hosted in San Francisco, and we're one of 6 startups internationally that are invited to present there, which was really, really fun. So yeah, that's my pitch. I think that's 10 minutes as well. Thank you so much for your time. If you'd like to learn more about us, please feel free to drop an email.
Very much. Great to have you here in that session as well. So also we are already a bit out of schedule, but I think 1 or 2 questions are still maybe possible. So Kirstin, do you have one?
Yes, Christopher, thank you so much for a fantastic presentation, and you really come far. Really impressed. One question, I guess, is what is your obstacles right now? Because it sounds like you're a startup that has, really hit it at a perfect timing, where, as you say, the consumers are turning towards the next alternatives. So I guess your production, since you have such a heavy demand from consumers, what's your production scale-up plans, and where, I guess, Tempeh takes both energy and space and time to process and color, and if you need to add taste to the project, to the products?
Yeah, so I guess there's a kind of like two questions. So the first question you mentioned was, what's the greatest obstacle? And the second question is kind of, what are our operational bottlenecks, if I have that correct? Yeah. So obstacles is, it is a competitive market, so there is demand out there, but we come in with quite a niche food ingredient. So I think one of our greatest obstacles is definitely educating the customer, and not just the customer, because we get incredible pull through online sales. So it's more educating the retailer and educating sort of the people in between that Tempeh is something that is worth betting on, that's worth their time. But we're getting there. We're absolutely getting there. And I think a lot of the retailers that maybe had no idea what Tempeh was just a few months ago are now starting to really, really look at it, because they're seeing this demand, especially for clean label meat alternatives, or at least products that are just differentiated from an ingredients perspective. No more plant protein, no more soy protein isolates and concentrates and pea protein. They're looking for new ingredients. I think that's what we really bring to the table. But also new ingredients are not just like jackfruit, which, I mean, it's just water and fiber, really. Tastes great, sure, but they're also looking for new ingredients that deliver nutritional value to the customer. Then to your other question about operational challenges, at the moment, we're quite fortunate to be able to work with some really, really great partners that are able to grow with us. I think moving forward, though, it is going to be a challenge, and I think it's one that we probably need support in. If we look at the team right now, we're all sort of eggheads. Like, we're all very good at at more of the strategic, more of the operational side of things, but not necessarily in getting our hands dirty and establishing our own manufacturing plant and that sort of thing. So I think moving forward, definitely part of our roadmap, if things continue as they do, would be to look into vertically integrating the business, and that's when we'll probably need to take on, take on more expertise on that front.
Okay, so there's maybe one more question from Agnes.
Thank you, Christopher. It was a really
Hi.
It was a really fun presentation, so thanks for that. You already mentioned you're not at this stage to be thinking about other markets, but potentially, are there other markets that could be interesting for you, since this is a European forum in the future?
Absolutely. So for us, it's all about learning, testing, adapting, and doing that all again. So I think by starting off direct to consumer, basically all of Europe was within our grasp. It was just a logistical barrier, right? So we launched onto Amazon Germany about 2-3 months ago, and we're getting considerable growth there. It started off a little bit slow because we have no retail footprint there. We've got no brand presence there. But just by putting our products onto Amazon, we wanted to see how it would pull. And it's grown, I think, maybe 4 times in the last 2-3 months. So we're definitely getting a really positive signal in that market. So I'd say the plan is to launch into retail in Germany early next year. So we're looking maybe end of, within Q1 next year. And Germany being, why Germany? Why not the Netherlands, say, or these? I mean, it's just a much bigger market. And I went through the ProVeg incubator program, which was fantastic. We were rated the best startup of the cohort in the second cohort of that program. So we've got some connections there to really help us grow in that market. But yes, international expansion is something that is firmly within the roadmap within the next 3-4 months.
Okay, so Christopher, thanks a lot. Maybe, yeah, Ed, you want to have one last question and the final one? Then go ahead.
Oh, sure. Yep. You look, Chris. I thought the presentation was fantastic. Packaging looks good. Love the route to market. It looks so far that your products are sort of a snack, playing in the snack category. You know, just from the packaging at least. Are there plans to move into the sort of more bona fide, let's substitute, you know, larger meat or processed meat products?
Yeah. So our products, I wouldn't say, yeah. Maybe, yeah, we can work on our packaging if that's the impression. I guess in real life they are like proper meat alternatives. So these come in about, oh, geez, skip a few slides. These come in, so these in these like 180 gram, gosh, these slides are skipping all over the place, 180 gram trays. And yeah, so they're meant to be proper meat alternatives. In fact, we're looking into moving the other way. We're in fact looking into producing plant-based snack products. So sort of like products that come in pouches that are gas packed, gas filled, for example, to ensure shelf life, to really try and break tempeh into loads of different streams. But I guess similar on the same line of what you're saying, we're also really looking into food service, so producing food service packs and diversifying our range, because really tempeh is such a novel food ingredient. It's really, really versatile. We can produce things like roasts, like full roasts. We can and maybe venture into like pizzas or add as a pizza topping. So we've got a brand collaboration at the moment with a brand called One Pizza Planet, where yeah, we've got our tempeh on their pizzas. So we'll see. There's definitely many
Sounds
different
good.
product categories you can play in.
I'd love to connect later. I think it really looks great. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
So yeah, thank you all of you for your presentations. I just want to bring your attention again to that voting. So everyone is asked to vote for your favorite. So you can also access this link. I just posted it in the chat several times. So once we have listened to a company, then you can vote. And on Friday, we will select then the winner. And yeah, so today is our Food Innovation Day. So if you are interested to hear more, then you can go on and look into other. We have presentations from Cargill, from Those Region Cowboys, from 3F Bio, so really fantastic, and also from Provec Incubator, for instance, so was already mentioned earlier. And also later on, we have US companies this evening in a session, and we will also have some reports presented by the Good Food Institute. So also the regulatory aspect is discussed. So of course, in the cultured meat area, this is a hot topic also in Europe, how regulators and EFSA and European Commission are dealing with it. So we are really looking forward to all those sessions. Great also that we had this jury members here from the different, to bring in their different perspectives. So thank you very much, you again, Kirstin, Agnes, Ed, for being here. And yeah, I say thank you. And now if further ones have time, then look in the chat for those who want you to meet in the Jitsi link. So we have all provided of all speakers and investors here right in the chat. You can scroll a bit. So the investors links were in or the jury members links were in the beginning, and the speakers a bit in the middle. So yeah, hope that you can connect there or in the partnering or via email. So thank you very much. Bye.